Here. I'm going live on YouTube and on LinkedIn, and they're saying we're live. So welcome, Smart Impressions on LinkedIn. How you guys doing? Hey, Trisha,
Hello.
welcome. Thanks for joining me from Impressive CV. How are you doing over there in Australia?
Yeah, you are very welcome. Always good to chat with you, Rach. And amazing stuff you've been doing lately in the events in Dubai. And Melbourne, it's freezing. I'm certainly missing the warmer weather.
The heat, I don't think you'd be missing 60-degree humidity and 44 degrees Celsius today. It's a
Wow,
hot one.
that's
But
true. I think after a number of years, I've been there and done that. You're right.
it's so funny, but it's just so nice to connect with you online, and really this is like the first step of us taking our knowledge to the global kind of market because we can, right? Why not? Why can't we? I mean, this is a great opportunity. We have been working together for a while, and I just figure, it's a great way to kind of include people to the conversation. And there's many people, like you said, at this event, meeting so many people, and love to engage and understand exactly how we can help them build their credibility and trust within the market. So I'd love you to just share with everyone what exactly you're focusing on and how you help people, because you definitely help plenty of people.
Yeah, sure. So, well, I guess I've kind of pivoted over the last probably few months and maybe even years as the market dynamics and the market needs changes. So originally it was sort of, the pure CV writing, LinkedIn profile optimizations, these sorts of job application documents. And now more than ever, personal branding. So just getting people noticed on the digital space and making sure that they've got an executive presence, because it goes beyond the likes of getting a job. It can really have a footprint to your name and leaving a legacy, which is, I guess, a lot of C-suites or aspiring C-suites really want to be, doing.
Yeah, well, there's no doubt that you're helping people tremendously. And one of our synergies, and I like to call you a collaborator, because I think your business and my business kind of work hand in hand, because we're talking about people connecting with people. So whether people are looking for new jobs, people are looking for new clients, I'm helping people connect for sales to drive revenue. But at the end of the day, these are people that need two big things, which is the credibility and trust that people are going to say, you are the right person I want to work with. You are the right person I want to hire. And that's really powerful, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I think as well, with a lot of these sort of newer AI tools, etc., coming into place, the likes of your Bard or ChatGTP and content creators, it does open up the world to everyone to having content out there on the digital space. But I guess authenticity and validity is probably something really important, and making sure that what you see on the screen is actually reflective when you actually meet someone in person. So being able to convey the message that you are showcasing online is so important, to be adding value from a human perspective as well.
Great. Well, reason we're doing this is because we just want to share our knowledge. I love connecting with people, and I keep on connecting with people, and it's always nice to see them. And there's no doubt that we see digitally today that the most engagement and the highest level of engagement is when you bring your face to the conversation. And even more so when you bring a video recording so people can really hear you, feel you, and they have a totally almost 360 experience of who you are. And more importantly, I think it's a great way for us as collaborators to really show our value, right? And you, Trisha, have been super pivotal in terms of helping a lot of my clients. And I think one thing that keeps resonating is really the reason our theme today. So Smart Impressions is the package that we've created to basically help people elevate their personal brand on LinkedIn specifically. I am a big fan of LinkedIn, use it all the time, and suggest that anybody wants to elevate their profile, this is a way to do it professionally. It's the only way to do it professionally. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that you hit the nail on the head when you said we've got a global reach, because at the end of the day, there's millions of users now. So we're not stuck from just the geographical perspective to be able to have a presence online. So it's it's a great tool. And I guess, as it becomes more saturated, you really need to know how to navigate it, what the algorithm's favoring, what has the most engagement, where you want to be seen, because it's well and truly, fantastic having a LinkedIn account. But if you're only getting a handful of people to come across your profile, then, you're really not optimizing the platform.
Absolutely. And so let's talk about the problem. What are you seeing that people are facing right now in your just when you're talking to customers? What is the biggest challenge?
Yeah. Well, I guess a lot of my clientele are job seekers and they're trying to become thought leaders in the space. So ultimately get headhunted. So they want to have their profile optimized and, of course, consistent content going out there so that ideally a recruiter, a hiring manager, a board member, VP, whoever the stakeholder is, comes across their profile and says, wow, we love the content. We want you as part of our team. Can you implement some of these strategies or some of these methodologies that you've been discussing? And then ideally, get recruited as a result.
Okay, great. Well, I'm seeing my problem with my customers is very similar in a way, right? Because they need to find customers, and in doing so, how do they do it in the best way possible, right? So maybe they're in a need to meet new customers, especially new customers that don't know them yet. So what are they going to do? The first thing anyone's doing these days is going to Google, right? They're going to Google, and if it's professional, they're going to LinkedIn, and they're going to suss you out what you look like online, right? So our goal today is to give you that at least one tip every week to see how you can add value to your personal brand when it comes to a professional engagement. And so what's your one tip for this
Yeah.
week? Because we're going to keep this a 15-minute session. We'll keep it open up for Q&A if anyone's on the line watching us and wants to have some direct questions. But I know, we don't want to give all of our tricks away immediately, right?
That's it.
But
We're business owners.
yeah.
So have a plan. This is going to be my first tip, and it probably sounds pretty basic, but a lot of people say, I want my LinkedIn profile optimized and get some thought leadership content. But what does that actually mean? So have a plan in terms of how long do you foresee you want to be reaching your goal as a result of this content? What are the pillars of your content? Are you going to be having, for example, the pillars of emotions? Are you telling a story about yourself? Does the plan involve having carousels? Does it have a content plan, meaning Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays I'm posting? So really have a thought, in terms of what sort of commitment you want to the platform so that then the right content can be crafted around that plan and accordingly built.
Fantastic. So that's one of the big ones today. Have a plan of exactly what you're going to share, right? Plan it out. I like that. One of my favorite quotes is something, fail to plan to fail. It's a big
Wow.
one, right?
So,
And I think
yeah,
that can't be more crucial to what you just said. Like, you heard
absolutely.
that one
Yeah. And
before?
no, I have, and I love it. It's so it's basic, but people forget that they think it's just a social media platform, but you need to leverage it to the capabilities that it's desired for.
Perfect. So I'm going to say my tip for this week is going to be knowledge.
Mm,
Share your knowledge. So part of that plan is write down, what do you know? What do you know? Right? Because then you at least can understand like how I could share my knowledge with others, right? Because part of that plan is going to be sharing. Wouldn't you agree? And
yeah,
so what are you sharing? What are you sharing is a question. And I'm like, your knowledge. What do you know? What have you learned? You don't have to say I spent 10, 10 years studying some, whatever. That gives you a little bit of, expertise and the amount of time you've put into it. But what is it exactly? And how can you convey that knowledge to other people? Because that becomes a huge asset to sharing with other individuals. And I think that's where employers are looking to hire people with experience, right? They got to have knowledge.
yeah,
They don't.
absolutely.
Would you say that employers are actually looking to teach that knowledge or not really?
Yeah, I mean, Dubai market is certainly something that's quite unique in comparison to, say, the US, Europe, Australia, etc. They really want people to be hitting the ground running and not having to spend time and money, efforts into the training and coaching because of the high turnover rate that I guess is just renowned for the GCC region. So I think that you absolutely, you're really bang on that one. And again, if I could add to it, so knowledge that the audience that you have built wants. So this is why it's vital that you've got the knowledge that you're going to be sharing relevant to the stakeholders that you're connecting with. They need to be intertwined.
Okay, fantastic. And how would you advise someone to find out, what is that knowledge
Yeah,
they need to
so I guess if you're creating something about, I don't know, sourcing strategies, for example, or best practice procurement, you really want to make sure that the audience that you have built is not sales and business development in the IT sector. Because if you're putting out content about your subject matter expertise knowledge, it doesn't resonate with your audience. Therefore, the engagement level on your profile is going to be extremely low, versus if you have a procurement audience in your LinkedIn profile and you're putting out, your top 10 tips to best pricing structures, example, then that's what your audience wants and needs, and therefore engagement goes up.
Absolutely. So unless you're posting, you won't know. I think that's really the trick. So you got to test out different things and understand what's gathering the most engagement. You can obviously do, searches and get kind of meticulous about Google, trends. And there's a number of websites out there that can offer you what's trending topics. So you can bounce on and see if any of those are basically something of relevance to your knowledge and expertise. But I think more importantly is really, as Trisha said, you just post. You get out there, you post some knowledge, you post some tips, and you see which ones get the most engagement, and you focus your content just around that so that you can really target clearly a clear message and value proposition to the market, right?
Love it. Absolutely. We're going to have a jam-packed series, that's for sure. We'll roll out some nuggets.
Yeah, so each week, Trisha and I are going to come online. We're going to have be live on YouTube and LinkedIn. We're going to basically be able to answer any questions that you have, should you have any, and want to be here to help support any questions while you're going through a challenge of whether it be finding new customers and a new market in a new region or a new industry, or looking for a new job, because there's a great synergy. It kind of overlaps as far as credibility and trust within communication and working with humans, right? How do you think that's going to change for the AI world?
What do you mean in terms of
Well,
communication?
AI is coming in and impacting our world, right? So I wonder in terms of how do we incorporate AI into this value proposition online?
Yeah, I guess use it to your advantage. So make sure you know what works. So, for example, when ChatGTP came out, everyone started, well, until now, a lot of people are writing posts that are like this big, and we know that it's generated from there. And it's all about prompting the AI device correctly. So learn how to prompt it to your advantage. That then gets the right tone and the right the right tools that the platform can give you in terms of length, emotions, etc. So yeah, learn how to best prompt these tools.
Fantastic. Well, there are a ton of tools out there, whether it be from the content aspect or whether it be from the graphic aspect and even photography aspect. I went on an AI tool the other day where you can upload like 30 different pictures, and it will give you about 50 professional photographs of your face with different backgrounds, depending on, so you can create a lot of different content with using your face, right? So, it was really, really interesting to see how this is going to change the industry, but it's going to make it easier for people to actually share this knowledge more regularly and more continuously, which means that there's going to be a lot more conversations happening online. And I love this conversation, Trisha. So I'm so happy that you joined with me. I think this is a great time. I know that Dubai, they're just starting Eid al-Adha. So I want to wish everyone an Eid Mubarak, because it is a holiday in this part of the world. But we will be continuing this every Tuesday so we can get your questions, get your engagement, and see how we can help your personal growth online. We'll be checking in to see if any questions pop up and answering you guys live next week as we join you at this time on LinkedIn Live.
See you
Is that a
guys.
wrap?
Bye.
See you later. Bye-bye.